Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We're looking at the actual language of luxury. Specifically, we're checking out how Irish Homes Holiday Resorts Backwaters sets the stage for a premium arrival experience. You know, when luxury resorts introduce themselves, literally every single word is meticulously chosen to evoke a very specific feeling. It's all about that transition, right? Leaving the daily grind behind and stepping into something, well, extraordinary. We're going to break down exactly how this promotional text uses the idea of a physical gateway to set a warm, sophisticated, and just deeply luxurious tone before you even unpack your bags. It's a fascinating look at how language builds expectations, and I'm super excited to guide you through it. Okay, let's dive into this. Take a look at the absolute first line of the source text. Step into paradise through the majestic entrance arch. Man, talk about a powerful hook. It doesn't just give you a basic welcome to our resort. It literally demands action, step into. And it instantly elevates the whole destination to paradise. But the really cool part is the vehicle for this transition. It's highly specific, the majestic entrance arch. The text is setting up this physical structure not just as, a piece of architecture, but as the literal and metaphorical starting line of your journey. It's the ultimate boundary between the noisy outside world and the exclusive sanctuary inside. Section 1. The physical gateway, setting the tone for luxury. And this brilliantly illustrates the core dynamic at play in our source material. On one side, we've got the extraordinary grand entrance, that's the physical cause, and over on the right, we have the unparalleled living experience, the psychological effect. The text explicitly links these two concepts together. It basically says that your journey into refined luxury begins with this extraordinary grand entrance. The archway acts as a literal guarantor of quality. The logic here is simple, but honestly, it's highly effective. If the entrance is this grand, this extraordinary, well, then the living experience that follows must absolutely be unparalleled. The architecture itself is making a rock-solid promise about the standard of living you're about to step into. So, you might be wondering, how does the text actually define this paradise we're stepping into? Well, it doesn't just leave it up to our imagination. It gives us a very specific recipe. According to the source, the majestic entrance warmly welcomes you into a world defined by 3 strict pillars. We're talking elegance, tranquility, and scenic beauty. Notice the careful balance here. Elegance speaks directly to the human touch, the design, the service, that refined luxury we just talked about. Tranquility is all about the internal state of the guest. Peace, quiet, a total escape from the daily grind. And scenic beauty? That speaks to the natural environment. The text is clearly telling us that true paradise at Irish Homes requires all 3 of these elements working in perfect, seamless harmony, right from that very first warm welcome. Moving right along to Section 2, immersed in serenity, the atmospheric shift. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer density of the sensory and atmospheric promises being made here. We pulled these exact descriptors straight from the text. Just look at this list. Elegance, tranquility, scenic beauty, sophistication, serenity. The source material states point blank that from the very moment you arrive, you are completely immersed in an atmosphere made up of these exact qualities. And that word immersed is absolutely vital here. It means you aren't just looking at sophistication from a distance or, standing next to serenity. You are totally enveloped by it. The text is building this incredible, layered, sensory-driven environment designed to instantly shift your state of mind the second you arrive. It's like an immediate, total atmospheric wraparound. And what exactly is grounding all of this atmosphere? Well, the text anchors this entire experience in a very specific physical reality. It tells us you are surrounded by breathtaking backwater views. This is the natural context that actually makes that tranquility and scenic beauty possible in the first place. The backwaters aren't just some pretty painted backdrop. The text emphasizes that you are surrounded by them. This just completely reinforces that intense feeling of immersion we were just talking about. The natural landscape is acting as the final and closing layer of this serene sanctuary. It's effectively walling off the stressful outside world and entirely replacing it with breathtaking nature. And that brings us to Section 3, Essence of Premium Living, the Ultimate Promise. Let's move to and see how this builds. We've actually mapped out the exact chronological and psychological journey the text promises and broken it down into 4 distinct steps. Step 1 is purely physical, right? Arrive at the majestic arch. Then Step 2 gets atmospheric, immerse in sophistication. Step 3 shifts to a much broader realization. Discover the true essence of premium living. And finally, Step 4 is the ultimate goal, the real emotional peak of the text. Create unforgettable moments. The source material is so clever here, carefully sequencing these ideas. Think about it. You can't create those unforgettable moments until you've discovered the premium living, which requires you to be fully immersed in the atmosphere, which really only happens once you pass through that majestic gateway. It is a perfectly, logically structured pathway to total guest satisfaction. So the crucial point is captured perfectly right here, where every arrival marks the beginning of an exceptional experience. This just beautifully ties the entire paragraph together. It brings us right back to the physical act of arriving at the archway, but it totally reframes it. The arch is not the destination. Actually, scratch that. It is simply the beginning. The exceptional experience is everything that follows. By stating every arrival, the text is making this incredibly bold guarantee of consistency. It's a rock-solid promise that this transition into refined luxury happens flawlessly every single time a guest crosses that threshold. We've really seen how the source material uses the imagery of a grand entrance to promise a complete, life-changing transition into a world of elegance, sophistication, and just breathtaking nature. It's a fascinating look at how architectural gateways double as psychological ones. So, based on the careful, incredibly inviting language we've just unpacked from Irish Homes Holiday Resorts Backwaters, the only thing left to ask yourself is this: are you ready to cross that threshold and create your own unforgettable moments? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. It's been a blast, and I cannot wait to explore our next topic with you